And so yesterday I touched on Will Barton and him officially being bought out. But the thing is that most of these like marquee free agent buyout guys very likely are going to go to a contender. You know, the Suns, the Mavs, a team that one, they'll probably get plenty of minutes, and two, actually have a lock in the playoff spot, or at least right now, and they feel like, okay, I can go there and at least we could tread water and we're in a position to contend. So issue is I just don't think the Lakers are going to get the big marquee guy, especially with a team like the Suns who need depth. They need a guy like Will Barton. He's probably going to go there. He'll get probably 25 minutes a game. That is huge for him as well as that team and organization. Not just that, but as great as and as much as I want like a veteran presence in the locker room, guy like him that can provide that, especially come playoff time, that's been in those moments, that's made deep playoff runs. Also, his ability to work with our young guys, I think has some value in and of itself. But in reality, probably he won't get a bunch of minutes with the Lakers. They just have too much depth at that position at this point. Although you could make an argument, maybe you take Rui, move him to the 4, where he's more natural at as far as like off the bench, right? So he would kind of be the 4, and then, you know, maybe he comes in and takes Troy Brown's minutes, but even then, I just think it's clunky, right? Where in reality, I think if anything, go get a veteran presence, is like just a locker room guy, like a Jared Dudley type guy. But if you want a guy that can come in and actually make an impact and make a lot of sense with this Laker team, I still think Hassan Whiteside is that guy. Personally, I've been in the camp for Hassan Whiteside. We've talked about Hassan Whiteside to the Lakers on several occasions here. As far as what we know, or as far as I know, I don't even think the Lakers have worked him out. They worked out Myers Leonard, DeMarcus Cousins. I really would like to see them give Whiteside a shot, right? As that third big man. One, kind of gives us Anthony Davis insurance, and just a guy that can come in and play, alongside Anthony Davis if you wanted to, right? He's a guy that slot in at the 5. You could play AD at the 4, which AD wants to do. Not saying that you should start Hassan Whiteside, but you could run some minutes on the court with him. Also, Mo Bamba, with Mo Bamba's ability to shoot and stretch the floor as a 40% three-point shooting big. Hassan Whiteside, you could have both of them come off the bench together. You could imagine like Hassan Whiteside, Rui Hachimura, Mo Bamba, and then like have like Schroeder and Reeves, right? Like that would be pretty nice, right? As just you have these two shot blocking bigs that can match and just cause mayhem in the paint. And then on top of that, you have, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, who can kind of be your scorers, as well as Dennis Schroeder, who could be, a scorer and kind of facilitator, put it all together. That could be really solid. But also, you need a guy that, one, can come in and be like, hey, some nights you're going to have DMPs. Some nights you're going to get maybe 30 minutes. Some nights you're probably going to get, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. But we need you. He could kind of come in and be that sort of JaVale McGee type role. High energy, just rebounder. Hassan Whiteside is an elite rebounder and an elite shot blocker. That's what he's built his entire career on. His problem has just been locker room issues, right? He's been a real kind of headache, and just he thinks he's better than he is. He thinks he's Anthony Davis, but in reality, he's not, right? He's more of like a role guy, could be a solid piece on the right situation on the right team. And if he's willing to kind of come in with the Lakers and humble himself, which, look, we've seen it with plenty of players. I mean, Carmelo Anthony even, right? Carmelo Anthony was out of the league for a couple years, and it took him to kind of get a piece of that humble pie in order to now buy back in, and he was able to play a couple more years and have some success, right? So Hassan Whiteside, it's like, what are your options, dude? Nobody's even looking at you. Nobody's talking about giving you a chance here. Right now, you're sitting on your couch where you could come here. We could use you as a big and be that third slotted big where you're going to have opportunities to play in certain spots, but you're probably going to have multiple nights where it's just a DNP. Would you be willing to accept that? Why wouldn't he, right? Like, just an opportunity to play basketball, opportunity to come in. I think he would be very helpful if we were to play, say the Nuggets, right? You could have him baning and kind of wearing down the Joker. That's how we've been able to beat them in the playoffs before. You just throw a bunch of big bodies and just have guys kind of push him around and just kind of get into him and just cause a little havoc for him. And he eventually, over a 7-game series, gets kind of worn down, and then you're able to capitalize and close. We did that in the bubble year, right? Had Dwight Howard just getting at him and just, really hitting him. And then you had JaVale McGee, same thing, just kind of this high energy, just kind of bumping into him constantly. You could do that with a Mo Bamba, with a Hassan Whiteside, with an Anthony Davis, and just start wearing him down, just tiring him out. It'd also be good to have like Hassan Whiteside for like the other matchups. Like, what if we end up playing, say, Minnesota, right? And you got to go up against Rudy Gobert. Hassan Whiteside was on a team with the guy. So I'm sure he's very familiar with him, and having a guy that he could just kind of match up with on nights. If we end up playing Minnesota in a playoff series or something, I'm not saying we will, but you never know. You never know who's going to come out the second round or whatever, right? You see surprises and upsets all the time. And just in general, right? Like, it's just good to have that other big body, just again for Anthony Davis insurance, right? In case he goes down or misses a couple games, knock on wood, hopefully he plays more than he misses. Out of these next 23 games, we need him to play at least 20 of them, right? But, let's say he does miss nothing major, but let's say he does miss like 5 or 6 games. It'd be nice to have a Hassan Whiteside that you could have come in and kind of provide that rebounding, the shot blocking that you're losing with Anthony Davis. He's not Anthony Davis, but still, he's a guy that could come in and kind of provide that. You could slot and play center. You could start him some games. Again, like, we have a couple games against Minnesota. Like, Hassan Whiteside might be a good guy to start in those matchups. Put Anthony Davis on Karl Anthony Towns. Put Hassan Whiteside on Rudy Gobert. They know each other. They can match up. He can bang with him. He can cause a little just grief for the guy and just kind of make things difficult. I don't think that would be bad at all. I look at the free agents. I look at what the Lakers need and like the roster and kind of the scope of this team. And you really look at it and it's just kind of like, yeah, like, we could use another big. Like, I really do. I look at it and I go, like, I think that another center that is, willing to come in, accept his role, understand, like, hey, you're probably not going to play a ton, but any free agent probably isn't going to play a ton, right? The Lakers still have to figure out the rotation with the guys that they have. I'm pretty sure we have our starting 5 locked up, right? We're probably going to keep that starting 5, or at least I hope so, of like D'Lo, Beasley, Vanderbilt, LeBron, and AD. Hopefully that's the starting 5 we keep going forward. We really need some stability in the starting 5. Again, certain matchups, like I said, going up against the Timberwolves, if you got a guy like Whiteside, maybe instead of starting Vanderbilt, maybe you start Whiteside just for that matchup and, kind of match size with size. Things like that. But for the most part, we need that stability. But outside of that, the backup lineup, you can adjust accordingly. Like, especially if you're playing other teams that have like bigger, more physical bench centers, right? Or just bench centers in general. Or like, you're facing a Steven Adams who is a really good offensive rebounder. Well, if you could pair him against a Hassan Whiteside who is a really good just rebounder, period, you could probably neutralize some of like Steven Adams' offensive rebounds. Not that Steven Adams plays a ton, but still, like, he's still a big body that plays in spots, like a Valanciunas, right? A guy that you could just throw at him, just kind of wear him down. Like, I really like Mo Bamba. I really think Mo Bamba deserves a bunch of playing time. I definitely, not like crazy, but like an actual spot in the rotation. I think Mo Bamba actually adds a lot of value, but he is very young still. He is very inexperienced. He is he's a better help defender than he is an individual defender. Not that Hassan Whiteside is a great elite individual defender. He's a better help defender too, but he's a guy that has experience, that has been to the playoffs, that has, just that veteran presence to him, and I really think can add value to this Lakers team. I'm still really in the camp of Hassan Whiteside. Myers Leonard's already gotten picked up. He's gone to Milwaukee. DeMarcus Cousins, I mean, based on what, or the way Darvin Ham kind of made it sound, didn't really sound like, he was all for, like, DeMarcus Cousins had this great workout. When Darvin Ham was talking about Myers Leonard and DeMarcus Cousins' workout, he was kind of like, yeah, they were, they had a good workout, but, we're looking in different directions, yada, yada, yada. Like, it was kind of like, yeah, they weren't very good, but, whatever, I'm not going to throw them under the bus type thing. Where Hassan Whiteside, again, I hope, I mean, the concern is what shape is he in? Has he been staying on top of it? Has he been working out? You definitely have to, like, bring him in for a tryout. But if he is still in shape and he can provide that rebounding and that shot blocking, and if he's willing to come in and play that role of like, look, dude, we're not calling plays for you. We're not doing any crazy, like, your job is to come in and when you're in the game, give us as many blocks and as many rebounds as you can get. If you play 30 minutes, I need 5 blocks and 12 rebounds, right? Like, that's your job. You'll get some scraps, you'll get some, you get a couple buckets here and there just on just being a lob and being in the dunker spot, or, on offensive putbacks and stuff. But us calling plays for you, us, running our offense through you, stuff like that, like, that ain't happening. You're coming in to do a specific job and play a specific role. If you can and are willing to do that, we're more than happy to bring you in. If he's willing to accept that, I don't know why you wouldn't. I really don't. I don't know why you wouldn't say, like, yeah, sure. Like, that sounds like a plan. Let's do that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you like the idea of Hassan Whiteside coming to the Lakers? Do you think, like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, let's do that? Are you kind of like, nah, I'd rather have somebody else? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below.